I'ma chase success with Global.Media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne or rum.
Here we are. Cool. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Toby Loba, welcome, my brother. Glad you're here. Your internet is doing what your internet does. Hopefully, it will connect. Of course, welcome, people. Welcome, my friends. Hopefully, my American family had a good Thanksgiving Day yesterday. Anyway, holidays over, my friends. Back to work. Back to work. I'm sure many of you were working anyway. You know, some people are proper crazy about about Thanksgiving, right? Yeah, some people. No, Vanessa is in the studio, and Vanessa said to me, "Amy, respect my time and yours. Don't even, we don't do, we are doing family and Thanksgiving." I'm like, calm down, calm down, calm down. What? Only you celebrate Thanksgiving, we don't, right? So it's all right. But hopefully, we're all back. Tobaloba, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm alive.
Your lighting is
Yeah.
shocking. Shocking.
Yeah.
I say that sincerely. Vanessa, look, you need to turn on your microphone or your camera. Otherwise, I can't bring you up on stage. I can see you're here, of course, but it says device is not connected. So you need to turn either your sound or your camera on. Then I can bring you on stage. Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts on our topic today for sure. Who's in the private chat? Who does private? Right. Okay. So now, top left, Vanessa. If you're on Chrome, next to the address at the top, at the top of your tab, I guess, your screen, there's two little cross opposing dots, and two cross opposing lines and dots. I suppose call it that, right? That controls your sound. See if you can say okay. Anyway, I don't tend to look in the private chat because you're here with me, right? Who's here? Oh, my friends are here. The link is not working. Which link? It's worked for Tobiloba. It's worked for Vanessa. Alexis, which link? The StreamYard link? I'll send that to you, Alexis, in a second. Mr. Josh, how you doing? So happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, my friend. Glad to see you. Happy life is on the up, my friend. Glad you're here. Victoria, yay! Yeah, Victoria is my new friend. And if you haven't met me, of course, I'm sure you haven't met Victoria yet, but you will do soon. If I have anything to do with it, she's a true superstar. Stepford wife to, I guess, global superstar, so a hero. That's what she is really. You get to meet her. Of course, she's an author, which is an amazing book. And she's on a mission to create a sanctuary, a healing center. I call it sanctuary. It's a healing center for people who experience traumas that we all know, right? Traumas from, I guess, narcissism to its mental health and every other type of trauma you can imagine. Well, she survived. Yeah, Vanessa. Hi. Vanessa, you made it. How are you? How are you doing?
Grateful.
Yes, well, I guess in line with Thanksgiving, not surprised, right?
Yes, I am more than grateful than everybody else in the world because I was living like homeless for 2 months. So I know how this is now.
Yeah, even homeless or living with homeless people for 2 months.
Let me just say they kind of invited me, but I said no. I'm gonna go to the airport. So I stayed at the airport for a lot of days, and I knew how to avoid attention because I wasn't supposed to, because there's a thing called trespassing. So I knew. Let me say I did not know I am actually have street smart. I love the airport.
So you can't spend a lot of time in the airport. I did recently, right? But it's not nice. It's not the nicest place. It's warm a bit sometimes.
It is, but let me just tell you, San Francisco International Airport is amazing. Okay, we even have a clinic. Because there were a lot of times I said, "Oh my God, I'm gonna pass out." Okay, then and I asked like people to call 911 for me a lot of times. I said, how do I survive? I need food. I kind of need a few hours of sleep. I need water. So how do I do it at the airport? Right. I asked people to call 911. And I think I was abusing public resources in a way, but I had to survive.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
So
And I
now,
walk into the,
what's
yes, sorry.
what's the plan? How are you gonna get yourself back to a
Oh,
stable place?
actually, I made it out because this what day was that? November. I want to say let's just say November 8th. All of a sudden, remember my sister's phone number. I said, let me give it a try. Okay. Then I said, I'm not sure if she's gonna pick up the phone because she normally does not pick up the phone. I said, God, please let her pick up the phone because I think I'm done being homeless. Because
Mm.
I actually traveled to Yosemite Park, Half Moon Bay, San Francisco, San Mateo, City of Marseille. I was everywhere. I was everywhere, and I had this plan. I was going to visit my new LinkedIn connection. Well, my LinkedIn connection, my mentor, my idol in a way. His name is Newton Chang, and he's with Google. But I didn't make it because by the time I was going to go, I lost everything. Yeah, so I'm very grateful. Let's put it that way. I'm very, 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 very super grateful.
No, I mean, I'm glad you came on today. I mean, it's a lesson for all of us, right? We think life is hard. What have I got to be grateful
It
for?
is. It is hard,
So,
especially in California, because I don't understand why people are so scared of calling 911 for me. They do not want to get in trouble, and they
mm,
are cold-blooded. I mean, okay, most of them. And that was told because it's really hard to survive in California, and there are so many scammers. I said, I just told you I have a daughter who might be committed suicide the third time. Please help. So I even called 911 and I was told by the dispatcher, May, we cannot help you. I said, oh my gosh. I was unbelievable. And the other thing I did was I walked into a Apple store and I logged into YouTube and I found the interview between Gavin Newsom, who is the governor of California, and someone else was interviewing him. And I left the comment there. I said, I need help. This is what I experienced. And no one reached out to me. Of course, because I was everywhere. Anyway, so yep, very grateful. And I started helping homeless people like yesterday,
that's
actually,
amazing.
or the day before.
That's amazing.
Because I found two in the uptown area of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I said, how can I help them with the amount of money I have? Because I haven't worked for a while, and people kept asking me how I survived. So I said, well, you just don't put all the eggs in one basket, okay? Then anyway, fast forward. Anyway, I started talking with, well, chatting, having the most intelligent conversation with one of the homeless people, and he was a truck driver. Anyway, we talked for about I don't know 30 minutes to 1 hour. And finally, I said, I'm going to give you something nice to let you stay. Well, basically, I booked a room for 2 nights. So I did it for him. I said, I know how you feel now. I'm gonna help you.
Mm.
So, yep, I did that. But I said, oh my gosh, I need to start making money, or I'm gonna lose all the money.
Yeah, yeah. We will need money, right? We will need money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I kept telling people I don't like money. Money is not important. So, but I'm like, well, in order for me to help more people, because I actually want to start my own nonprofit to help the
Mm,
homeless, because they are the only group who helped me so much without asking me any questions. Because there were times I fell asleep on BART. They call it BART, but it's actually Subway. Then this guy was So, I mean, I think he was really concerned about me. I'm not sure what I did, but I fell asleep and he was trying to wake me up and he said, "Here, this is the bag of beef jerky. Have it." And I was so grateful because I did not have 50 cents to purchase a freaking banana. I'm sorry, excuse my French. But
No, it's
yes,
fine. It's fine. We're all adults here, so you speak the way you speak, my friend.
right, right. Anyway, so that's it for me. I know I do a lot of talking. If I don't stop, no one else can talk. So I'm going to stop now. I
It's,
just want to say,
it's a great reminder that Thanksgiving is not just a day,
yes,
and it's not just a day for it. It's not just in name only. It actually, it means something to be grateful.
yes,
So and
very super grateful.
yeah,
And I am, I think I'm going to do my best to I think first, sorry, I said I'm not going to talk, but I really want to say
no,
this.
no, 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 talk, no, seriously, talk, no, no,
Okay, so
talk,
I
please, feel
travel
free.
all over around California, right? And I met a lot of church groups. Okay, then oh wait, that's not the point. The point was I was in Chinatown. Then I said, oh my gosh. So if I have a commercial building, if I can lease any commercial building, I need two stories. First story, I'm going to feed them. And also, I'm going to have a classroom setting. I'm going to
Mm,
have chef who can volunteer so I can, kind of, they can be taught like a life, surviving skill by learning how to cook or learning how to serve or whatever, right? Then, and I can have that open to the public at the discounted price.
mm,
So once they can make enough money, I'm going to ask them to pay me in rent because the second floor will be where they can stay. Because
mm,
I was told by the homeless community that public shelters, you don't want to go there. It's not safe. So
mm,
I said, then what's the purpose of having the public shelters if that's not safe, right? I mean, they are available. It's really sad. So, I mean, I've seen them just stay in the tent and all that. I feel so bad for them. So I said,
mm.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something. Hmm.
Look, it takes people who have experienced trauma themselves to
Hmm.
help others, right?
Right.
You see,
So I feel like, yep.
yeah,
Mhm. The other thing I want to share was starting 5 years ago, I was in really bad depression. It was God who helped me. Because one day I woke up with the voice inside of me telling me to go to this church in California. No, no, I'm sorry. I keep saying California. I get confused now. Charlotte, North Carolina. Then I went there. And my first question to God was, or to the pastor was, for once, I really want to take care of myself. Because I've been taking care of everybody in my life, in my family. Started when I was 10 years old. I said, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Then I forgot what the pastor told me. But this time, on the morning of uh, September 13th, this time, the voice was telling me to go to California. So I was in a hurry. I bought a one-way ticket. I was so in a hurry because I threw everything in the carry-on. I didn't know what's in it, but I threw everything in there. I did not know why I was so, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure where I got that from. Maybe it's because 5 years ago I vowed to God, I said, I'm going to use what you gifted me because I'm so blessed by you. I'm going to help all mankind. So for me, this time it was more like a test to see
mm,
how much I can do if I'm ready to help human beings.
yeah.
So I get well. The first week was rainbow unicorns and all that. Second week, that was when everything started. So it was supposed to be a 1 week trip,
Mm,
and
mm,
I disappeared for 2 months.
mm.
Anyway, enough talking. Thank you very much.
No, no, look, that's like I say, it's sobering to think that we all have problems now, but today, again, tonight, you're a lesson to all of us
Mhm.
to genuinely stop for a second and be grateful for all we have. You know, and truly mean it. It's not just I'm grateful and then move on. You know, it's you know, it's truly, it's in your heart. I can hear that for sure, right?
Yes.
Look,
Yes.
so I'll connect you with some of my friends on here. I mean, Lexi.
Sure.
So Lexi is one that talk to for sure.
Okay.
So you know, so
Okay.
Lexi, you know, she knows what you're talking about, and she knows she's there to help people. So I mentioned Victoria as well. Victoria Snodgrass. So I will connect you with Victoria as well. You're gonna
Okay.
because
Thank you.
she's on the same mission as you to help people who are homeless, people
Mhm.
who have had it all and lost it all. You know, so you know, I think we're stronger together, right? When we collaborate,
Mhm.
we
Right.
can help
Right.
more people. You know, so that's I'll connect you in a group chat, you know, with
Sure.
my friends,
Thank you so much. Thank
and
you.
you know, if they can help you, if you can work with them, then life is good, right? But
It,
thank you.
it is. It is beautiful.
Yeah, well, this is a nice day where you are as well. You know, here is cold and damp.
It is. I let me just say, I kind of miss my homeless life
Hmm.
in a way. In a way, because I didn't have to worry about who's calling me.
Hmm.
I didn't have to worry about any meetings. I didn't have to worry about who know me, because nobody knows me. Okay, nobody knows me.
Yeah, they will do. You know, so once you start helping people will know you, and they'll know you for the right reasons as well, right?
Mhm.
But,
Yes.
like, thank you so much. You take
Thank you.
care.
I'm very honored to be
We'll
here.
talk
Thank
soon.
you for inviting
Thank
me.
you so much. Take care. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Bye bye. Where am I? I was going to do something else for a second. Okay, right. There's a noise. There's a noise behind someone. I don't know what it's Tobiloba. I can hear that. Okay, let me go back to welcoming people. So Josh says good morning from Colorado. Alexis, I just sent you the link to your DM. If you want to join us, please do. You know about the topic, so yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, and Josh says we all woke up alive. We're blessed. We are indeed, Josh. We all woke up. Otherwise, we won't be here. Mr. Omar, I see you. Welcome, welcome. My YouTube friends, please do the right thing right now. Like today's video, comment, and say something. Say something about the video. That way we can reach more people. And of course, it helps my numbers as well. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. I hope you have. So I can see you. Is it Jay? I think Jay is one of them. Hopefully it's Jay. I don't know whether it's Jay or Jay. So thank you for being here. So Mr. William, we're glad you're here as well. Thank you so much. I was on your show. I was watching your show last night on replay. And fascinating. I see all your conversations are always interesting, my friend. Now you keep doing you. So I'm glad you're here. Who got the mission? So Lexi says, even when we think we may have less than, we can still help others without needing anything in return. And that's it. Vanessa said that true, an evidence of true compassion and unconditional love. So life has a way of doing funny things, right? Now, life had a way of throwing Vanessa up on our screen today, showing us a message. So Sharon, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much. No, and yes, you do have to get to know Victoria. You get to know her in time, right? So and hopefully I can connect her with Vanessa and anyone else who's looking for support. That's a mission that she's on for sure. Okay. Start research, my friend. Let's come back to our topic today: market research. There's a truth, my friend. There's a truth in the world. Many of us, let me meet you. You got kind of noise in your background, right? April, of course, I see you. Welcome. I've seen you for a while, April. Good to see you. I got to say, right? Look, my friends, there's a reality. Many people think, I want to write a book, and then they write a book, and they're surprised when it does not sell. Now, our reality is that many authors, most authors, most people written a book, are lucky to sell more than 50 copies. So the
Hope it's
dreams.
not.
No, okay. Now you're quieting down a bit in the background now. So now, so people, authors' dreams to make money from their book, even though it also to impact people. Essentially, for people to read their books dies before the book's even written, right? I'll extend that to say I see many authors who start writing a book excitedly, and then as they get towards the end, I was like, maybe they want to get towards the middle, they suddenly realize no one's going to read this book. No one wants to read this book. There's no market for it. And I literally watch as the energy, the motivation, the enthusiasm, the joy drains out of them. Those books never get finished. Because now, once you, unless you know that that people are going to want to read your book, you don't have the energy to finish it. Now, how do you know people want to read your book? The answer is something called search the market, right? Do your market research. You know, do your market research to know that there are people who want to read your book. Maybe do your market research to know that the topic you want to write about is trending. You know that trending word, right? Now it's popular. People care about it. People are going to want to spend their money to buy your book to learn about the topic, right? See, when you understand the market for your book, many good things flow. I'll come to that in good time, right? You know, so once you know that there's a market for your book, you know, the sort of thing that you suddenly realize is, what is my topic? What is the angle I'm going to come at this from? What is there what can I add to what's there already? That's a real conversation. That's what market research really is, right? You know, even silly things like, you know, what's the right price for my book? What should the cover look like? All of those things come from market research. Now, it's like Tobaloba, here's the truth for you. Mr. Karma, I see you too, right? Here's the truth for you, Tobaloba. Many people they listen to me now and they're going, oh, well, I wrote my book, and well, I didn't do any of that stuff. It's, you know, it can't be that important. It is. Now, the reason your book is not selling is because you didn't do any of this stuff. Sorry about that. If your book is selling, even though you didn't do any of this stuff, maybe you're lucky. Maybe you're one of those lucky people, really. For most people, unless you do the basics, the foundations of becoming an author, I call this the first step in becoming an author. Know your market, know who they are, know what they want to read about, and then write for them. I'm not saying don't write what you want to write. I'm not saying don't be unique. I'm saying if there's no readers for your book, what's the point?
Yeah.
So, whereas the opposite, if you know people are dying to read your book, literally dying to read your book, almost like, you know, you can't lose, right? If you write it, you're guaranteed to make lots of sales. Would that make you write your book? I'm sure it would, right? You know, if you can't lose, we tend to do that's called a guaranteed win. Anyone in the right mind will write that book. That's the conversation I want to have today, my friends. Tobaloba, how are you doing?
I'm alive. I'm okay. It's a beautiful day and a beautiful time to be alive, right? You see, it's a very great topic that you are saying. I wish I could actually pack the books that I have right under my. I think I buy books almost every week now. I buy books every week, almost every week. And I'm not saying $1 book. I'm not saying it's $2. I don't buy $2. I don't even buy $3. Ladies, at least you buy $10 book. And I'm in Nigeria. I read books. I think we have to still come back to this thing that I always speak about whenever I have the opportunity to, which is the mindset in which we used to approach things. The mindset in which people used to approach the way they see their value. needs to be changed. And I do tell people that you don't have a solution and begin to find a problem. You find a problem and you provide a solution to it. So your book solves a problem. So you must be able to find a problem first before you go into writing a book. I'm currently working on a book which is called Realistic Urgency. And what it's about is that it's for the people that really want to be more productive. Just raw truth that is inside the book. If you want to be more productive, get your hand on the Realistic Urgency. I was talking about the ebook that I wanted to put out there that time. I put the ebook out. The first person that read the book bought it for 6 people, paid for 6 people. That I love this little ebook. The link is right on my page. So you must learn how to find a problem and provide the solution through your book. It is not all the time that you can have time to be talking to people individually, one-on-one conversation before you could, help them to solve the problem. But 10 people, 20 people, 100 people can be reading your book simultaneously across the world, meaning that you have the privilege to solve people's problem, many people's problem on the go. And one of the things I feel like people really do not want to write book is because they are selfish. And they approach this thing from their own selfish standpoint, with their own selfish interest. That, okay, I have this solution. To be very, very honest, since I started approaching what I bring to the table from a solution standpoint, not from the money I want to make standpoint, I have made more money. Today, I've closed a client today. Because I start to approach my own thing from another standpoint, whereby people need help. And one of the best way you can provide solution, for them is through the book you put out there. Tobiloba, how do I now sit down and write the whole book? Any is there. Communicate your message. Let us know what you want to get to the world. I do say something that when you are a needy, you can hardly be needed. You will hardly be needed when you are a needy. So you have to be able to put yourself out there as a needed vessel, not a needy vessel. Some vessels are a vessel to honor, some are into dishonor. You've got a book idea. It's just like you've not sat down enough. You've not examined yourself enough. You've not looked into yourself enough. Have you truly, truly got the solution? The word is involving. The word is there. You must. I feel like everybody needs to become an author, because your own idea or things you've been through is exclusively to you. And people really do not have to go through that problem because you have the solution. They don't have to go through it. And that's where we come about personal brand. If you want your book to sell, you need a personal brand. You must have a personal brand. So when you not tell the world, this is what I've gotten, this is the solution I bring to the table, this I want to help you, they buy into your idea. Because over the years, you've been a solution provider. You've been solving people's problem. You've loved others. So you must have this at the back of your mind, that I come here to solve people's problem, and I'm going to put it out. If I don't have the time, I'm going to put it out through my book. People are going to have a taste of the knowledge that I have to share with the world. And you start to approach life from I am needed. I close with this, that you don't be part of the problem. Be a problem solver.
I tell you.
I yield the mic.
Tobiloba, that's genius, my friend. That is genius. You've covered many of the points that I mean to cover. Your book should be a solution. Yes, there's people who write books, Tobiloba, because they just want to tell their story. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Like I say, something. If you've written your book and it's got you to where you want to go, who am I to say otherwise, right? But I said, the successful authors write solutions. Solutions doesn't mean always problems. It means what people want. Sometimes people want entertainment. Sometimes people want education. Sometimes people want to learn a skill. Like, sometimes they want to achieve something big, like that do marketing. So but unless you know what people want, unless you know there are people who want what you're offering, the chance of your book going big is very little. I say again, most people sell less than 50 copies of a book in their life. Don't be that person, right? If you did say, but it comes back to many of the things you're saying, Tobiloba. We have to know what our potential readers want. What is their issues? What are they looking for? What are they looking for from our book? It's a more specific question. And then you mentioned the importance of realizing that we're competing against other books. Readers there's only a certain number of readers on Amazon. Yes, there's millions of them. There's only a certain number who may read your book. But we're competing against thousands of books potentially that they could buy. So that makes me think about what I said earlier, which is, why would I buy your book as opposed to that other book or that other book? What are you adding to the conversation, to humanity? Yes, again, we all have a unique thing that we can add to the world. That's our God-given gift. You and I talk about this all the time, Tobiloba, right? But unless you know that readers want that God-given gift that you have, it's very hard to write a book and finish it. Very hard to write a book, finish, and market it. It's really hard. But people do it every day. But my friends, by the end of today, I hope you take away from me here the importance of knowing your market, know who your readers are. There's simple strategies that I'm going to talk through today. How to know who your readers are, how to know how big your market is. That way, you don't have to wing it. You don't have to hope and pray necessarily. You still got to do those things, by the way. But of course, you can take concrete action. You mentioned talking to people one to one, really, right? To find out what their issues are. But of course that takes time. But that's only one of many techniques, one of many strategies we can use. There's value in talking to people one to one to really understand what is the issue that you're dealing with. I think again, if you mix that with what we know, many authors of Global will write based on the problems that they've had, right? What their trauma is why I call it sometimes, right?
Nice, yes.
Of course, feel free.
And I think we have another problem here. I'll just You see, many people think that because they have an idea, they have to be the person to execute that idea.
Mm.
And that's one of the problems we have out there. You see, many people do not collaborate, they compete. Oh, as this thing that we do together, has it brought me anything before? There was a guy that reached out to me around March. Um, Around March this year from India, said he wanted to invite me to speak on his, live stream like this. I was like, okay, no problem. Really, I really don't have India friends. I don't know. But that time I just have to I just like, okay, let me talk to India for the first time. And to my biggest surprise, after the event, I got a client from his show. So we usually think like we've got everything because we have just one idea.
Did you what?
Why don't you tell it to people? Why don't you share with someone? Why don't you tell people that one way or the other ahead of you and share your idea with them? What if they've actually even got the solution? What if they've got the solution to your problem first? They can kick you up, they can make you to achieve what you need to achieve over time. All of the client that is coming my way, I tell them that if you can't work for 3 months, don't expect anything from me. So if you are signing a 3 month, because I've now come to realization that it's not about the money you actually give to me these days, it's about the solution we are able to bring to the table.
Mm.
So you must
Yeah.
understand that when you are working with people, when you are putting a solution out there, you are not for everybody. You've heard me say this all the time, that even if you are selling long life and prosperity, it's not everybody that will buy from you. That is why your message has to be very, very specific. I don't talk to some people because we are not in the same niche. I know what I have cannot be solution. Oh, does that mean that they are not good? They won't find other people? No. Other people are out there that can give them solution to their problem. So I want to really, really encourage us, wherever you're talking to us or you're listening to us from, that you have an idea doesn't mean you should be the one to execute it. You can tell it to people, collaborate with somebody.
For sure.
In
No, for
that
sure.
way, you could be able to get the best out of it. I can
Yeah.
see Mr. Stanley in the house. These are the people that we ride on their wings. We had nothing to actually really, really bring to the table, but they're just like, okay, we see little things in this boy. Come to the table, let's work together, let's do this thing. And that's why we are here. That's why I got to know you, Mr. Enning. I absolutely had nothing, not a whole lot of things to add to the table when we got started with all of this. But as time goes on, we learn. That's how I got to meet Angela Finch, who taught me about mindset. We collaborated. Give me what you have. Let me give you what I have. Let's join it together. Let's use to create something for the world.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be
Yes.
all about you all the time. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
No, no, thank you. Again, you're sharing gems, my friend. Don't stop now. Look, collaboration is key, says Vanessa. I agree with you. We have to, we have to win. We're basically, we're going to have win-win for everyone, right? That's where we create real genius. And so ongoing collaboration means that we can combine our knowledge, our experiences, our insights. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. Someone else can add something to what you know, right? Equals a better solution. See, I do have this lingering conversation in my head about where does collaboration meet personal responsibility. Now,
Hmm.
really, where now? Because we have to be responsible ourselves for creating something, right? Yes, others can add to it, but genuinely, I do ask myself, where is that line? You know, but of course, collaboration doesn't mean that we abdicate our responsibilities to someone else, right? Take care, Vanessa. If you are you going? You want to speak? Okay, I'll give you a second. Like I say,
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'll give you the same. You can have the mic. So Stanley, I see you. Welcome, sir. Glad you're here. Mr. Power Thinking himself. To connect with him. Mini mindset modules is what Sir Stanley does. Welcome, sir. Vanessa, feel free. Feel free.
Okay, I have something to say to that. I think as a, because I'm actually the influencer, um, everything. I anyway. So this is what I think. Okay, so as an influencer or as anyone in public saying anything, you are responsible for what you said. Meaning, if you say something, you better make sure it's true. If you want to, if you tell people that's, that's what you think, that's the right thing, you better make sure that's right. So I think we are responsible. So be cautious about what you said. Think before you speak. Uh, right. So my thing
Yeah,
is, make sure you get all the facts checked before you start spreading that message or telling people that's good or not. Use facts. Use facts.
yes.
Logic. Yes.
Again, I mentioned what's trending when I started
Mm-hmm.
talking today, right? It's like you can write your book, for example, based on what's trending. What's in the news, what is the latest scandal.
Right.
Do people want to read about that? Sometimes they do. But like you said, Vanessa, check.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you add in something that's useful. Make sure you add in
True.
some truth, some knowledge.
And value.
Yes,
Value added.
based on facts. Based on
Yes.
what works. I was talking to someone. I'm not talking. I was listening to someone the other day. If
Mm-hmm.
they're here, they will know who they are. And the person said, "I don't write unless AI writes it." I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Mm. But
No,
I was.
I put in the chat. I'm like, what does this say about your abilities and your expertise if you have nothing
True.
to add to anything? If all
Right.
you're doing is copying and pasting AI in your
True.
blogs
Be-
and your posts,
I
what are you
mean,
saying?
I think we might. I think eventually we'll get like super dependent on AI. But at the end of the day, I think AI could be subjective because based on the information we as human beings feed to AI, then that kind AI is just gonna populate depends on the keyword you use to just like Google, right? But Google for me is a much big database. So for me, AI can be subjective. Depends on the keywords, depends on where you are actually.
For
Politics,
for sure.
demographics, and all that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it depends which AI tool you use, as you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
So again, I
Yes.
see people writing their books with AI every day. Really, they're
Mm-hmm.
doing it amongst us,
Right.
my friends. Your friends are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be shocked to realize people are writing with AI,
True.
and
And yeah, I
it's
mean, guilty as charged. I use AI because I love LinkedIn Premium, but
we all use AI. We all use AI in different ways. We all do. I said
true.
there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's a difference between doing AI and using AI. I really think that. I think it's right. My point is this: you have to add
Mm-hmm.
your human element. You have to add your experience, your knowledge, your trauma. You have to
Mm-hmm.
add all that in to create a solution. That's what I was talking about earlier. That is
Yeah.
unique. That
Mm-hmm.
helps humanity. Because what you know is what the world doesn't know. What AI knows, guess what? The world knows already because that's
Right.
how AI just gathering the data that we already have. Let's not go down the let's not have an argument about AI. Otherwise, I'm going to upset my friend Calm. He'll get really annoyed.
But I think I have a solution actually. So why don't we have our own AI and our AI, communicate or collaborate with each other, right?
We
So
do,
we can have
Vanessa. Vanessa, we do. It's called our brain. It's called our experience. It's
no, no.
called
I'm
our.
talking
It's
about
who
I'm
we
talking
are.
about the AI because I'm talking
It's,
about AI
well,
like
I don't,
AI.
what you mean? You mean software? You mean like a platform, like an app?
I mean, eventually, I mean,
It's
yeah,
a
we are.
app.
I think we are gonna
It's
get there.
over
We might
himself.
not, right? We might not live long enough to see that, but I see the future. I
Mm,
see we'll have our own, just like iRobot, right? We'll have our
mm,
own robot. So we can train our own AI. We can train our own robot, but we
yes.
need to make sure they talk to each other. But
Mm.
I mean, at some point they're gonna say, okay, we don't need humans, and for me that's scary. So how do we set a boundary about that?
See, I
Because
think I think to a degree our books are our AI.
hmm
It's our knowledge, our experience, our
right,
insights,
right,
our interpretation of
hmm
things that goes into our books.
right, right,
So of course, to do what I think you're thinking, Vanessa, means
hmm
writing many books, several books.
hmm
And I guess I'll say this while I go to the calm. Thankfully, many people, once you write a book, that's again, I'm like many people, and we all are, right? Like where one day you say to yourself, "I've got nothing to say to the world. I'm not gonna write a book. I can't write a book. No one wants to read that. No one's gonna read that, right?
hmm
That's me. I have nothing to,
right,
no, nothing of value." And then one day you realize you have something to actually share with the world, and then you write your first book,
right,
and suddenly
hmm
you want to write about 10 more books easily. That's the way the world works, right? I mean, do we capture that? Do we capture your books into? It's a series, I guess.
hmm
It's a library, it's a catalog, right? And then you can share that with the world. It's a wonder. It's a wonder. It's a wonder. I think,
right,
Alexis, I agree with you that it is about what we as individuals have to bring to the table.
hmm
That's what the world really needs. Of course, you can show up at events like these and talk all day, every day, or you can, put it out there once and done. But that's, how are you going to put everything out once and done? You can't, right? Miss Tracy, I see you. Hello, Annie and friends. That's you, Mr. Calm. That's you, Vanessa. So below we just fell off. Hopefully we'll come back. Tracy is our audio books genius. So she's the one that will help you to create and upload your own audio books. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Of course, she does shows as well, right? Ariel, I nearly missed you. How you doing, Ariel? Glad you're here. Ariel's got a son who writes books. He's recently a couple of books. I think we're looking to publish the second one. So the first, he writes books for, is it children? No, I think it's for everyone really, to get an insight into his life. Living with autism. Which thankfully, this Ariel's son has a life and has a good life. Autism doesn't have to be a sentence in that. It's not necessarily gonna mean you can't have a life. And her son proves that for sure. Ariel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. See, my new friend Vanessa's here. Ariel's here. See, when I meet people topple over, what I say to them is, "Come to my show. Come and see what we do." Rather than me try and tell you what I do, what events are. Now you've been, you can see for yourself for sure. You can see how there are people in the comments, there are people are here, people on stage. I want to bring all of you on these events to come and share your message. Yeah, of course. Now you've seen Ariel, now you've seen Victoria. The next step I'm going to be pushing you for is to come on stage and share some of your insights, and then people start seeing you, start hearing you, and then we can work towards you doing your own events to promote your books. That's any simple formula, right? It works. That's why I do it. Mr. Calm, I want to let's talk to you, Mr. Calm, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on market research,
Hello,
knowing what your
everybody.
readers want. How are you today?
Not bad. How are you today?
I'm all right. You're
Hello,
here.
Tobaloba. Hello, Vanessa.
I'm a friend.
You doing all right, Tobaloba?
Yes, I'm alive.
Oh, you are. I can see that, and I can hear you indeed. So, we're going to have to celebrate that you are alive and make a bit more noise than usual while we're celebrating. But thank you very much for letting me know, and I hope that everybody in the on the bleachers are also alive and doing very well this after Thanksgiving Day, which is considered to be Black Friday. And if you are out there shopping, be careful. You know, don't put too much of a hole in your wallet. There are more days to shop. And we can do a lot more of that later on down the road. So yeah, take care of yourself. Don't be like me. And come Black Friday, find out that you've got no money to spend on stuff that is good out there. Well, such is life. I'll live. I'm sure everybody else will. And another Thanksgiving will come along next year. That's when I'll partake, if I remember to not do that again. I guess I should write a book about that. But I do not know if it'll be in too much of a demand. I'll probably have to do some marketing in order to be able to find that out. Market research, right? That's what we're talking about. So, how big is your market? When I started writing my book, or what made me want to write something, I had something in mind that I was passionate about, and that was health. Health is a big thing to me, big thing for me. People, that is the most important thing in life. You got to be healthy if you're going to live a good life. Absolutely and utterly. But if you're unable to talk about your health problems, even giving that information to family members because you feel stigmatized or you feel society will stigmatize you and then your problems will expand or get bigger. And that's a huge issue. That's a big problem in itself. And it occurs in Africa more often than not. More often than not. We have a tendency of hiding our problems. We have a tendency of not talking about the ailments that we're going through. And yet, there's a probability that those particular ailments that you are going through that you do want to express and that are giving you a really hard time, and that's why you cannot perform or you cannot, your day is just completely crappy, but you want to feel better, but you just simply cannot or do not want to talk about it to anyone. Eh, can't go through that. It's been 60 years since independence, and we're still unable to talk about these problems. We are traumatized about talking about these problems. We traumatize even ourselves more by being the vehicles of stigmatization upon people who need help. Need help. There are a lot of handicapped people and disabled people in Africa. A lot. But we hide them in our houses, or we hide them in warehouses, or we hide them in other people's houses, and we don't bring them out. We're afraid to bring them out. We're afraid to talk about them. And thus we don't get any help. The government doesn't even care because we hide them ourselves. We keep them away. We don't even tell the government. Really, the health department, and is that what I mean by government? We don't even communicate with the health department to tell them we have this issue and problem. Why? Because we're afraid of the stigmatization against our family, and we're also afraid of the lashback from society, what they'll do to us. We have got to end that. That's a big thing for me, a really huge thing. And that's why when I had my problem called DVT, it was a shocker. It nearly killed me. And then I started investigating to find out, how many people have actually gone through this because it's a quiet killer. It's not something that just, it pronounces itself way beforehand. No, it's a quiet killer. I've heard of my uncles, my aunts suddenly die. Suddenly, they go out to work. Next thing you know, they don't come back. Why? They died on the way. They died while working. They died on the job. The stress got to them. They didn't talk about the ailments that they were having. They knew they had them, but they didn't talk about them. They said, I'm strong. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to push on. I'm going to survive. But these things that are happening to you, if you don't, if you think that you're going to survive and you die, what happens to all your children that you left behind? Your wife, your debts, the society that the people that are dependent on you. What happens? They become the burden of other people. They become the burden of the community, and they are not treated very well. They are not treated very well at all. They suffer. My cousins have gone through this. You do not need to tell me that I need to do that I need to write a book that will address this problem. Yes, I do. It's imperative that I do. It's imperative I put my ideas and thoughts and really scream instead of being quiet about this. Why should I be quiet? The book will tell all, and hopefully it will open some more mouths so that we can have a discussion in the community and bring solutions. And hopefully, out of those discussions, solutions just start popping up. Or there are solutions that actually exist and can be brought to the front, and therefore we create a better community or and universe. Because that's what books do. They provide solutions by introducing a problem to the masses, to those who don't know that they even have a problem, who haven't even identified it, but know that there is a problem. Bring it out. Write that book. Put it in words that you can understand. Because the words that you understand are more than likely the same words that are going to be understood by the masses, by people who can relate, who can say, yes, I understand, because I've been through that. I've been through it. And it was painful. It was also extremely sad and lonely. And I'm tired of being lonely and sad. And this is not the world I wanted to live in. But I am in this, but I am here, in this situation. I need help. So you people, write your books. Help me out. Put them out there. I'm doing my book not because I want to get paid. No, it's because I want a better universe. I want to live in a better universe. At the end of the day, I want my children to be living in a better universe than I am. I'm at an age where AI, what I call augmenting intelligence, is available. I use AI to augment my words into succinct verses that are correctly popular in the editing world. Why? Because I would like to reduce the editor's work by providing a clean, easy to read draft that requires next to no editing, or maybe, a couple of edits, and then we are done. We have a book. The cost will be minimized as a result.
What happened there? My screen made a noise. My computer made a noise. Michael, are you still there? Is it just me? I can't hear you.
I can hear him too.
Okay, so it's not just me. Hopefully he will come back.
Can I share some?
So I will address your question, Vanessa. Go on top of that. Feel free.
Okay. I do have to tell us something too, that when we are preaching that You write a book, write a book. We also need to understand that you cannot give what you don't have.
Mm.
So
Mm.
before you can give a content, there must be something inside the container. What the container is carrying is what determines what is going to dispense. So when I tell you, when you say, oh, what does he know that we say he's writing a book? These are the book I can just see my eyes on in my sitting room right now. This is one. This is two. I can just see all around. This is two. This is three.
Mm.
This is four. And this is five.
Yeah.
Now, imagine if I can consume up to 10 books in a month. I think putting a book out there within a year could actually be so much valuable.
Mm.
Now, what I want you to understand is that you cannot give what you don't have.
Indeed.
So that you won't put yourself in a lot of pressure. Oh, this person writing book, how did this person do it? How did this person do it? It is because of what they have that you don't have.
Mm.
So if it is your goal to put a knowledge out there too, you must learn how to consume. You consume, then you give.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you will not be like, oh, Any encouraged me to write books, even his boy,
Mm.
or his son that was on the stage with him, they encourage us. Now I've written the book. You see, when you have something that is very valuable, you will be crazy about it.
Mm.
Before, I cannot tell, like, okay, if you cannot pay me this amount of money, you cannot work with me. Right? I cannot work with me because I know that coming to me is a transformation to you. It is not about the money you are giving to me. So before you consider all of those things too and arrive the fact that I want to put a book out there, do you have that knowledge too?
Mm.
Don't just write, don't put grip reach out there, don't put anything out there.
Mm.
To be honest, when you have something, there is one adage in Yoruba. I said, if how do I translate it? That is, if you are so sure about something, you always talk about it. It's said in Yoruba, but there's no how I say that. People who don't understand my local language will truly understand. But I hear that one to my hand. And there's a verse in the Bible. Bible is my own anchor that it says that there is seeth a man diligent in his work, he will not sit before mere men, he will sit before nobles.
Mm.
So when you are good at what you do, when you put the best knowledge out there, oh my God, they are going to rush you.
Yeah.
When I tell people I don't run out of client, I will have client. When they come to me, they will work with me. People make noise on LinkedIn. You'll be like, oh, I've seen client, I do this. Do you have many clients we even reject because it's not in alignment with what we do?
Mm.
It's not about the money you're giving to us these days. It's about like, can we actually add value? Do we have the kind of value you are looking for? Are you the mic?
Yeah, this is look, I think it's a fair point, my friend. Mr. Calm is back. I'll come back to you, Mr. Calm. Look, it's you two. Actually, you well, Vanessa too. You're making my day. Michael, I agree. Mr. Calm to everyone else, I guess. You can write from your passions. You have to write from your passions. That's what I was saying. Write about what you know about. I get that. So that is method number one. I think I saw Vanessa ask the question, how do you know what books people want? Right. Let me share the strategies as we go, right? Write what you know about. Like I said, the issues that you've experienced, as we know, is a good way to start because it's very rare that we're alone. You're not alone. No. If you have an issue with from whatever, how do I escape narcissism? How do I, how I escaped homelessness? How I escaped mental health? How do you make chickens lay eggs? these are human problems. Well, I've had chickens, so I know the chicken problem is, I've had the problem, right? How do I farm goats? So there's books about these things out there, I promise you, right? So writing about what you know and what problems you've experienced is a good place to start. See, but that doesn't guarantee you a big market, because you don't know how big the market is. So you can do what Michael was suggesting, which is introduce a problem. Tell the world they've got a problem that they may not even know they have. We can all do that, right? Because again, if you write your book based on what you know, by definition, it's a unique book. In a niche of its own. Of course, we'll find other niches for it to go into, because people are not going to search for a niche that they don't know exists. You have to categorize your book somehow. Whether it's self-help, whether it's something else, right? But there's a problem with introducing a problem to the world. Again, it's not just a problem with introducing a problem to the world. There is a danger when only you are talking about an issue. What is saying really? If you say, I'm going to introduce this new concept, this new idea that you've never thought about. Many people do this every day, by the way, right? The world will ask, and you should ask yourself too, how comes no one knows about this issue? And when you ask yourself that question, it makes you, make you ask yourself question number 2. Is it really an issue? Am I sure? Is it really people's problems, or is it just more, is it just something that is in my head, in my life? Again, I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying it's a big, in the ideal world, you're going to do what Tableau talks about at the end, which is you need to know what the competition are doing, what they're writing about, what they're talking about, what issues they're solving. And that comes from read their books. Tableau, if you know how golden that knowledge is, that information is for people. There's many. How many authors do you know who write books, Tableau, and they've never read a book? What the hell? You haven't read a book, but you want to write a book? How does that work? You don't read books, but you want to write books? If you don't know what's in other books, how do you know where the gaps are? Oh, I just read the description. That's enough for me. No, read the book, and then you find out that then you see clearly where the gaps are. Look, let me give you an example, my friends. So I think the first book I wrote, without even realizing I wrote a book, was many years ago. It was about the psychology of pricing. If you heard me talk about this before, I apologize. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, really, right? I wrote about psychology of pricing. So I wrote about how you create effective pricing strategies for your business, but that sort of work on people's psychology. What sort of things am I talking about? And I'm talking about pricing a lot more these days because I'm going to publish that book eventually, right? And so what I wrote about was things like charm pricing. You know that how everything ends in 99. Why is that? Have you noticed that's how companies price everything? Because it's psychological. It's a charm price. We could easily make it 98 or 97, and people think, wow, even more value. You're saving 1 cent, my friend, each time. 1 cent less than 1,000. 1 cent less than 100. Maybe 2, maybe 3, right? But if people fall for it. See, when I started rewriting this book recently, I thought, I bought 2 books of Global pricing. I read them both. I was like, oh, they all sound very the same. We talk about the same things. We talk about the pricing, we talk about discounts. We talk about making sure you recover your costs. We talk about profit margins and so on and so forth. Then it dawned on me the gap in the market is really the psychology, the mindset of pricing. And again, when you hear him talk about this book, I spoke about this on Queen Leah Garcia's show the other day, Wealthy Wednesday, I think she calls it. The psychology is in our mindset is a problem. Our pricing is not the numbers. Our pricing is what we think, how we think, what we think about us, about our business, about the market, about our products, our services. So that's what I'm going to write about. That's what the gap is. No one's talking about that. They might talk about it. They talk about that's a side issue. Everyone else talks about the same old garbage about the numbers. I'm not saying it's not important, but it's the same old thing, right? So unless you read the books, you will not know where the gaps are. Tobiloba, good on you, my friend. Keep reading the books. You keep finding more holes, more things to write about, right? That's how humanity really works. Look, I need to play some adverts. I need to play a couple of adverts, and I'm going to play my video for the day. Michael only comes from the video, for the videos, by the way. Because it saves me talking. People can tell you what I'm going to tell you anyway, right? So, looking you, my friends, a couple of minutes, see what I mean, and then we'll come back to the conversation.
Why wait for someday? 'Cause nobody will call. The words inside you could change it all. Sit down and write it. Don't try to fight it. Your truth is a spark. Go on, ignite it. Order your thoughts. Make chaos sing. Turn your pain into something that'll bring hope to many, light to a few. 'Cause there's a book in you. There's a book in you.
I love how the video ends. I must say, I love how the video ends. Stop sleeping is what Cyrus is saying. Look, we have, I guess, a joint venture where I obviously help you publish the book, and Cyrus is part of marketing the book, especially with his podcasts. All authors must find their voice. I always say your voice is your biggest tool. Write the book, talk about it. When you talk about it, you can impact many. If you want everyone to read your book, you're working in one-to-one, right? Whereas if you start talking, be it on stages, be it at events like this, be it at webinars, at training sessions, at workshops, at conferences, you make money more than you'd make from selling books. And you can also sell your books while you're there. So that's why talking about your book is such a magical thing. Let's come back to our topic today, my friends. How do you know? So Vanessa's question earlier was about how do you really know what people want? Let me try and find the question. I'm going through my comments. I'm bound to miss it, Naomi, but I'll try and make sure I don't miss it. Wow, because many you've all made such amazing comments. I'm bound to have too many to look through. And you should have gone to the top anyway. Why don't I go to the top? I don't know. Anyway. Okay. So how do you know what topics people are interested in? Asked Vanessa. Okay. Look, my friends, market research is the answer. I've given you one method already. What Carmen Tabuleba gave you one method, which is use your passions, use your problems, use your experiences, use the problems you've experienced yourself. That's number one. If you've felt the pain of something, someone else is feeling the pain of the same thing. Like I say, it gives you somewhere to start, right? No, say no, but then no, you don't know yet. Number two, Vanessa says, do you do online surveys and in-person surveys on social media? Yes, this is number two, my friends. Talk to people. Talk to potential readers. Talk to them. Ask them what they want, right? In all those methods, Vanessa, online survey, easy to put a survey out. You can do a poll on social media. You can do many polls. Which topic interests you, and you can even dive in to people who respond to your poll. Like, go and talk to them. If they do the in-person, do their Zoom or their DMs, to dive into the issue that they want your book to address. That I think there's nothing beats talking to real people. Then you really understand what people are thinking or what they're experiencing. That's number two. Look, my friends, Tobiloba mentioned number three, right? I think look at the competition is such a big way of doing it these days. There's a whole. You can do your market research on Amazon. You really can, in full. And I say, of course, doesn't involve talking to people, but you can people do market research on Amazon every day, and it's knowing how. I'll help you with that. I'll tell you how. I'm probably going to do a whole room on how do you do market research on Amazon, because I think it's such a big topic, right? It starts with finding the books in the niche that you want to talk about. Amazon has a bestseller list for every category. So all you have to do is do a search on Amazon, find the topic you want to talk about. Where will people be searching for it? Is it in mental health? Is it in self-help? Is it in marketing? Is it in business? Is it entrepreneurship? I'm saying find the category, right? And go and look at the books on there on Amazon. There's a tab on the left, 3 or 4 tabs down on every Amazon page, book page, right? And it will show you the bestsellers. All you simply have to do is be systematic how you look at those books on the list. Open each one, right? Open a new tab for each book that you see on the list. What's the title? Now, what does this description say the book tells you? I'm giving you a quick run through because, as I said, I'm going to do a whole room, but I'll actually break these down. I'll show you how to do these things, right? Look, what's the title? What's the description? What's the focus? What's the problems that this book aims to solve? See, once you know that, then now you have a start, right? And then this is a killer for Amazon. This is the gem that no one else can give you. Look at the reviews for the books. Those reviews, my friends, they tell you so much. People have read the books, right? See so just draw up a table for each book, draw up a table, pros and cons. Reviews will tell you what's good about the book. I love the style it's written, and I love this, I love that, I love that, I love that, right? And then what do they say is missing? I wish the book has said more about this. I wish the book could have. Are you with me? This is how you know where the gaps are. What the book is missing, what the books on there are missing, is what you want to write about. So I've given you 3 or 4 methods so far. So I'm sure there's one more that I do want to. I'll come back and talk about as well. Yeah, my friends, do your market research. So nothing beats knowing knowing what people want to read about. When you know, it takes out all the worries. And it gives you direction. It gives you something that you can work on with confidence. And I say again, if you know you can't lose, did you write that book? Only a fool would not write that book, right? And if I knew I couldn't win, I couldn't lose, I'd write the book. Of course I would. Is it about making money? Yeah, partly. But it's more about helping people. As we talk about Tabuloba, as you mentioned more than once Tabuloba, right? We want to write a book that if you guys are going to help people, we'll write that book. The money will come. Guaranteed. Whether it comes through book sales, whether it comes through events you're invited to speak at, all of that, right? Mr. Tamrat, I haven't seen you for a while, my friend. Glad you're here. Michael, I know that you're a genius. You speak, is that Chinese? Yeah, I think that looks like Chinese, right? I don't know. I can't even begin to pronounce your name, my friend. If you put it in the chat in the English version, that would be really appreciative. Yeah, so thank you for being here, though. Tracy, how to know? Ask the audience. Yes, Tracy. A lot of people are scared to do that, Tracy. I don't know. It's not. I don't know what the fear is. Maybe they're afraid that they're going to go down the line, the rabbit hole that they're not knowledgeable about. As Tobalaba was saying earlier, right? But literally, asking people is your best tool. Tracy says, "I like sci-fi." Whereas I think Vanessa says, she's into crime-related ones. So am I, Vanessa. And I say I love crime programs, crime books, crime content, because many of them I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who done it. And I say I love the who done it stuff. I can't read fantasy books. I can't read fiction books because I can work out who done it before I even open the book, and that destroys everything for me. I don't want, and I want to watch and be amazed at the end. What's going to happen? Once I know what's going to happen to it in a program on TV or a film, I stop watching. That's why I don't watch films. The heroes never die. Have you noticed? I wonder. I wonder. Alavine, welcome. You see, you need to know what people want and need by paying attention to them. There's nothing beats talking to people in real life. Really not. I suppose now maybe here's the question. Here's a problem I see many people have when it comes to deciding who to write for, let alone what to write for them. Problem number one: do you know who you're writing for? Do you know the readers that you're hoping will read your book? Do you know who, like gender, location, industry, lifestyle, income level, interests, where they hang out? I'm saying these are things that we should know about our readers, right? Do you really know that about your readers? I fear for many people the answer is no. I haven't got a clue. Many write and hope that someone's going to read the book. It help you to know who you're writing for. You don't know who you're writing for. How do you know what to write? Oh, I'll just write what I know. Yes, okay, fine. If your book sells, you've got lucky. If your book doesn't sell, you have lost it. The inevitable has happened. Mr. Calm, talk to me. Of course, I always love your patience. Mr.
Well,
Cyrus,
this
is your
is.
I love the
Go
video.
ahead.
I replayed it several times. Please do, my friends. Please keep replaying that. I love the video too. It's amazing, right? Josh, I'm glad you like it too, my friend. Sorry, Mr. Calm. You know what I'm like. I'll say speak, then I'll start talking again, right? I'll give you the mic.
You're extremely good at that, and I think I think you
Unknowingly
do it
good.
on purpose. I think it's
Unknowingly
a
good, right?
purposeful activity. Yeah, you love it.
I mean to let you speak, and then I think one more comment because I love people in the comments. Of course I do, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a dopamine fix, right?
Now, talk to us. Talk to us.
All right. Um, how do you know? How do you know? The way I know is this, and this is where things get interesting. I open the doors in my mind that have been closed and have cobwebs on them. That means I've been afraid to go in there. So, which means I probably need someone's hand to actually go in there. Someone holding my hand. And he has refused, but I'll ask other people because they actually help me out. And as I go and explore my own mind, the rooms that are in there that have doors which are locked
The
have
dungeons.
stories. Yeah, they have stories. Stories that need to be told. So go in your mind, delve in it, figure out, ask questions, explore. When you were a kid, you were always exploring. Oh, what did this do? What does this feel like? What is that? Where is it going? How shall I get there? Ah, look, there's a rabbit hole in there. Can I fit in it? Just like that girl in the book. Ah, let me try it. Of course, don't go in there. You might find a snake. I'd say avoid it as much as possibly. But that's how you do it. You explore. And that's how you do your research. Explore, explore. Take note. Take very good notes. Because you need to be a very good listener and a very good your mind has to be able to shelve things, organize things. If you're not very good at doing that, then maybe you should just start writing things down in a journal every night. That way you can remember next time you start writing a book, oh, it's in the journal. And it just comes out fluidly.
Hmm.
The process.
It's,
I write I write right away.
hmm.
I write everything that comes into mind and just splat it. It's like splatting everything on a what do you call it? On a canvas. Be a
We
painter.
we call it a word vomit.
Yes, word vomit.
Get it all out of you.
Get it all out. Put it out
Mm.
there. And it's not gonna make sense for sure. But
Mm.
then if you know who your customer is, or if you know who your audience is, then you can arrange it in such a manner
Yeah, and
that
again,
it makes sense for them.
we can make it easy for you. So, so one of my friends well, a new client just come to us recently, and she's written her book manuscript. It's a huge book, right? Thousands of
Yeah.
words.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what she said? I've written everything I want to write. You make sense of it. You structure it. So that's what Alexis is doing right now.
Wow.
Because she's a developmental editor. That's what development editors do.
Have you asked Alexis how she feels about that?
Yeah, of course. I talk to Alexis
I'm
every
beginning
day.
to wonder.
No, I talk to her every day, and it's not. Look, there's different ways to write a book, right? Like if you can, by the time you come to me and Alexis, you can say, right, I want to write a book, and then I'm going to tell you, we can help you write the book if you want, or you can write or we can help you write the book, and then we'll
Mm,
make sense of it. Whereas the other way, if you say, here's everything I've got that I want to be in the book, you make sense of it, and then of course, then no, she's an editor, it's a professional editor. That's what she does for a living. It's how she pays her bills. You know what I'm saying, so
mm.
she does it very well. She enjoys the process of reading people's content and making sense of it. Of course, she does.
Oh, so
Give me
she's
one
like a
second.
construction worker,
Yeah,
except a
for books.
construction worker on words.
Yes, really. Tracy,
Hmm.
thank you for enlightening me. It's Japanese. How would I know the difference, Tracy? You have to come tell me one day, Tracy. And Hassan says the same thing.
Tracy is
Japanese.
Chinese and she is very eloquent in many
Yes,
languages.
I can see
And
that. I can
and
see that.
she's obviously that's why she's my aunt because she's incredibly intelligent.
She speaks
I
highly of
only
you too. Like
I
comment and
only
read.
have family members who are very intelligent. Thank you.
No, thank you. Let's listen to a genius at work. Dr. Roxana, how are you, my beloved sister? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Happy Friday. And
Happy
I
Thanksgiving
hope,
to you.
yeah, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
We don't do that here. Only Americans do Thanksgiving. We don't do it in England. We don't know what it is. I'm learning.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm learning.
the English people just have a cup of tea as usual.
But no, we do Christmas. Christmas is our Thanksgiving, really.
Let's not forget, if it's Thanksgiving, then they'll have a cookie.
I've done that already.
wow. Thanksgiving. Every day should be Thanksgiving. Every
I
day.
agree. I agree. I agree. I
Yes.
agree.
And
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So and I was away for a bit, but so of course I'm back now. So I'm doing shows. Well, I'm back for a couple of weeks. So
Okay.
I'm,
I've been
I'm good.
yeah, I've been this is fall semester
Mm,
coming to an end. So it will be over in the next maybe 1 2 weeks and grading. But after that, we are almost done. So the semester is coming to an end.
All right.
wow. This is our school year ends in the summer. Our school year ends in literally July, June, July. So our exams tend to be then. But so
Yeah,
of course.
what about so what do you do during the fall semester? Fall.
It's just part of the year, and it's part of the school year. Our school year
Oh,
starts in September and goes on
okay.
to July. So from April
Isn't
onwards is when the exams are.
isn't
Okay.
September
This
like, really cold? I mean, like you
yeah.
do like you go to school when it's really cold. Is that what
No,
happens?
no. September is still summer, right? Sometimes it's still summer. Other times it can be very cold. But I'm
Yes,
saying
really
it's
cool.
not, it's not winter. February is winter.
And
Yeah.
December,
and then how long is it for?
winter.
Um,
I don't know, November. So it's cold now. It's cold now. It's I have to if I go outside, I have to think twice. So it's cold now. It's cold in November through to February. It might still be freezing in
yeah.
March, for all we know. But no, but at least the sun shines and the temperature abates come March. From March onwards, it's spring.
Mm.
Then
Yeah.
So,
April and the summer, and then we're back again.
Mm-hmm.
so when does school finish? I mean, after in what
July,
month? In July
July.
of 23, it finishes in. Oh, so that's when you guys start the summer for the kids. I mean,
Yes,
once who are in school.
the 6 weeks holiday, so exams and the 6 week holiday and preparation for next year, the next
Six
school
weeks
year. In other words.
holidays.
Yeah.
Ah, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Well, that's good. Well,
No, that
people are allowed to do it the way they do it, so I cannot
Yeah.
say that it sucks.
No,
well,
no,
I
it's
tell
all
you,
right.
Madame Roxanne, that is torturous. It really is.
It's what you experience, Michael. It's what you
I mean, that's
experience,
why
surely.
when I look at the English people, they're so miserable. Oh, now I can understand why.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Dr. Roxana, talk to us. In the course, you've written several books that were
After
published, several international best-selling books.
Dr.
Yeah.
Roxana
Usually
talks,
on Monday.
then I'll follow up with a couple of things because there's one in particular that I've got to ask Annie
Okay,
that's really bothering my mind.
write it down so you don't forget.
No,
So,
no, I've already written it down.
Roxana,
It's already been written down.
how do you know what people want to read? How do you know there's readers for your books, Dr. Roxana?
Yeah, how do you know what people want to read? Good question. I think before you write your book, you have to research. You have to research and find what people need. I believe you don't just start writing a book because you want to write a book. You want to write a book that people will buy. That you have to have an audience that need the book. For example, if you want to write a book, you can go to Google and research the kind of book you want to write. Find out how many people need that if you want to Google, or you can go to ChatGPT because and ask them what is ask ChatGPT questions about the book you want to write, whatever it is. If it is a devotional, ask about the kind of devotional that gets man, get sales, catchy, with catchy title, and maybe that will give you sales within a short time. So you can get a lot of help, a lot of advice from either you can use Gemini, you can use ChatGPT. That's all those. And then when you get those, and then you can narrow it down to actually what you want. Do you want nonfiction? Do you want fiction? What kind of book do you really want to write? Narrow it down and start from there. Do you want to write a finance book? And make sure that it's actually narrowed to what you want to write. Is it make money online? Make money on what? What kind of are you talking about digital products? Narrow it down to what kind of digital product? What kind of what are you going to use? Are you going to use Canva? Are you going to use? There are so many. I like to use designer, the designer to write my books. I actually use Canva also, but you need to get a lot of help and get a lot of insight and people's opinion. You can go to YouTube. YouTube is the largest search engine. You go there, and because a lot of people are writing books there, a lot of you go there and search the trend. What is the trending ebook that sells? I'm not talking about just writing an ebook. Trending ebook that sells, that make you money. Maybe not a millionaire overnight. I don't think you're going to be a millionaire overnight, but that sells. Oh, so you go from there. I think I just maybe I answered your question. Did
I
I?
tell you, you certainly, I mean, you certainly have answered the question. If you'd come in the beginning, we would have gone home after your share, because no one listen to me after they hear. You've given us a whole load of methods there, my friends.
Yeah,
The important one is now do your research. Do your research.
exactly.
And there's so many places that you can look to see what people are interested in.
Yeah,
Google, your AI tools, whichever one hits you, so whichever one you like, and talk to people. Talk, do the work. See, I say again, Dr. Roxana, I'm glad you mentioned trending topic. What's trending? I said there's things, there's topics that are trending. There's people are into certain things at different times, right?
yeah,
And it's no hidden secret. It's whether you do, you can do your research to find out what is trending right now. I mean,
yeah,
money always trends, Dr. Roxana, right? How to
yeah.
make money. Oh, it's always trending. Whatever day, whatever
Make
week,
money, yes.
whatever year, right? So that's what you write about, thank goodness, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
again, I see you, Sean. Welcome, my friend. Glad you're on my YouTube, I hope. Yeah, thank you so much for being here for our identity disruptor, super coach. So I call him. Glad you're here. Of course, like the video while you're there, please. It'd be great help to me and my numbers. Always, I always value those on YouTube. Dr. Roxana doesn't need you to like her videos. What she does really, but she's monetized years ago as our maths teacher on YouTube. So you know,
I do finance. I do finance also.
yes, yeah. Well, of course, the numbers is your thing. Now, money. You say money,
Yes.
money.
I do
Again,
I do prayers also. I like prayers. I do that too. So
well, I haven't published a prayer book, and it's a divination book, and I think as you call it, and as you mentioned it earlier, right?
I
You
do
said
devotional.
I mean, you made a point that's important. I think there's a difference between researching fiction and non-fiction books.
Yeah.
That's such an
Yeah.
important point, Dr. Roxana. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
It's different because now fiction is crazy stuff in your head. But of course it has to align with what people are looking for. Are people looking for ghost stories? Are they looking for, sci-fi stories? What are people looking for? What do they want to read?
Exactly.
Uh,
Because you don't want to start writing a book that when you finish it, nobody's going to buy or read. You can. You know what I do? Another thing I do is I have. Yesterday I clocked 50,000 followers on YouTube. But before I do,
Wow.
I do what is called poll. I poll them the
Mm.
kind of things they want in a book,
Yeah.
or so that helps a lot. And after you get the answers from the polls, that helps you with your next video.
Mm. No, for sure. Look, again, so I think we mentioned polls earlier. That you can do polls on LinkedIn. You can do polls on every social media platform.
I haven't done
Yeah.
posts on LinkedIn before. Someone has to show me. I don't know how to do posts on LinkedIn.
No, you can
Now
look.
that would be interesting. That brings
Yeah.
about a
Yeah.
question that I would like to talk about since you're talking about YouTube.
Yeah,
And
please.
I wanted to pose this earlier, and I said, I worry about how many people shall be reading books in the future. The
Yeah.
art of reading a book is dying.
Are you
The
sure?
value
Are
of
you sure?
listening, the
I mean,
value of listening to a book or
mm,
a podcast is more useful in transferring information today.
This is true. I believe you're saying the truth. But let me tell you, part of my book, I just make videos out of them. I
mm,
can say I make videos, I convert them to finance videos and post them. People want to watch videos, maybe bit by bit. The things you wrote in that book, I think I
The
agree
thing is,
partially.
you're right. The Gen
Hmm.
Z people that you are communicating with, the ones that are coming up in the future, want that kind of context, want that kind
Yes,
of display because that's what they're used to now. Reading is not
exactly.
is past and bygone. So I think you're right on the mark right there, Roxanne. And that's why I'm thinking your numbers are high as a result.
can I
Okay.
can I can I can I tell you a secret?
No,
Yeah, go
See,
ahead.
right behind the millennials is the alphas.
who?
Yeah, the alphas. They're the alphas.
Okay.
The next generation after millennials. Millennials might be short-minded, short-memoried, and short attention span. See, the alphas are going to be more like the Gen Zs. So there will be a going back to the traditional things that we've thought about and know, Michael. So that's
Yeah.
what we know is coming. I'll leave
Yeah.
you with that.
That's interesting. It's a right argument to pose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. Hmm.
Anyway, that's why I said I'll tell
Although
you.
I do believe that you're wrong because
Okay.
we do have like a whole generation to go through before we reach the alphas. And I do know that the world is cyclical in terms of,
Yes.
like just like fashion, you know,
Mm.
something is fashionable one time for one generation and then goes out of fashion and then comes into fashion two generations down the road.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
most likely that's what's going to happen, but I don't know about that.
You see,
Books Reading books has not gone to the extent of expiring or gone away,
mm.
but whether it comes back, it will come back in a different form. It's not
I'm
going to
not
be the
sure.
same
I'm
way.
not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It'd be different. Look, the books have their place, as Dr. Rossano said. In a book, the secrets of the universe they're hidden. They're not really hidden. They're there, right? And if you want to know deep information about any topic, you can watch as many videos as you like. You're gonna have to read the book to know the real truth. That's
You
what I would
have to
say.
get into the author's mind to know the real truth.
Yeah, one, their book
And
is
really, how is the
that's
author's
my mind.
mind interpreted better?
The
Is
book
it in a
is
book
the book
or
is
is it in a
unfiltered.
video?
The book is an unfiltered version. Look, a video can never tell you everything. I promise you. As Sean says, video and audio content is valuable, but it's not. It's something here now, Mike. I've been talking for the last 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
I've shared many things. We've all shared many things, but
Mm.
let me tell you, we haven't given people the golden nuggets. That's Roxana's books and her videos will tell you a lot. Yes, you have to, but you have to talk to her, spend time with her to really understand what she knows. No amount of video that she does is going to give you everything. You know,
Mm.
this is our reality. This is why we write books, right? So this is why it's important to talk to a coach like Sean. What Sean knows and what he does for people can never be explained fully in a video. You get a good idea, don't get me wrong, right? But there's, it's almost like
But I
we
also
need to
find that
we
even
need to be a
reading a
fire on the
book is
wall.
also in that kind of category and status. You cannot get everything from the author just from reading the book.
I think
You have
from a,
to talk, just like you said, you have to talk to the author, and you
yeah.
probably have to talk to the author multiple times because the context in which you see the
Mm,
explanation
mhm.
matters.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Let's say I agree with you. This is why you have to talk to the authors. It starts with listening to the authors. Like I say, using our voice, be it at conferences, workshops, seminars. This is where you begin to realize that there's a fine detail that is missing from the videos that you see or the audio content that you hear. Or some of the conversations that we have, right? And then you have to be willing to pay for the author to spend time with you if you want that level of, you know, almost how to implement the idea. I think Coach, Sean, you say it very well, my friend. Videos a book as a doorway. That's what the book will give you good insight. The book, just think, Michael, a 200-page book will give you the model, the thinking, the stories, the experiences. That how does that get to this? See, Jay and I talk about this all the time, right? You
Yeah, but
need to
the
understand
thing
the
is,
transformation. Hold on. You need to
even
understand
go
the
ahead.
moment of transformation. You have to understand the moment of transformation when we made this realization that we put in the book. Without that context, as you said just now, we can't really apply what the book says. We can't apply what we see in videos for sure. Videos are less content than books, by the way. And I say you can talk for 2 hours. You're lucky if you cover 20 pages of a book. That book is 200 pages long. I'm saying, what do you know? You must know there's more to it than what I've said in the video. Surely, go on, Michael.
The thing is, I can go through a book faster in one context, and then if it's presented again in another context, like if you have multiple videos in different contexts, same book, you could cover that in a shorter time of frame than just reading one book
Right.
and get a better understanding.
I can see what you're suggesting, right? Maybe look at. See, I read books several times, the same book over and over and over. And I'm thinking back to Bob Proctor, who read, Think and Grow Rich for every day for 50 years. Every day. You chose a section, you reread it. Even when it comes to videos, I'll say to you, never watch a video once. If you really want to get it, watch it several times. Michael, every day, when you watch a video today, you see something, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you watch it again
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, you see more. There's more to it. There's more in there than you realize when you first watched it in a fast way.
Mm-hmm.
The more you watch it, the more you get. It's like that's the way books work. The more you read the book, the more things dawn on you. You make realization.
Right. That is true.
Right. Yeah,
And
we have
that's
to
why
read the book
I'm also
several times.
suggesting that if you have multiple, like for instance, in an audiobook,
Yeah.
you have someone who speaks or talks
Yeah.
about it and presents it in their way.
Someone
The
who reads
author
the
can
book.
also speak and present it in her way or
Yeah.
his way. And
Yes.
then another reader or multiple other readers can read it and present it in their way.
Yes.
The accumulative effect will be a much better understanding of the book. But I'm saying that it will be faster.
Life is always about speed. It's
And
about
for some
listen.
reason, it will be more enjoyable than reading.
Look, Sean says it again brilliantly. Sean's answering your questions before you even say them, right? And I say that this is how I roll. I give the info, the what, in the video, in the book, in the posts, and so on. But if you want to know the how, that's when you have to talk to him and pay him. I'm saying, stop going through content fast. Fast is not going to get you the detail. And I said, maybe, let me bring this back to our conversation. Sean, of course,
I agree with you there.
I'm always be correct to Sean. Sean is also an identity-driven leadership coach. He helps you rewire who you are to lead who you serve. Cool, Sean, that's brilliant, right? I love how our tags evolve, how we change. Sean, I didn't know half of that until you just told me, right? I'll try and remember. I'm sure I won't. I'll just call you the disruptor, and I'll leave it there. Sean has 2 books in the works. Got to get them written. Yeah, get them written, Sean. Reborn at 50. Your real life starts now. The Midlife Rebellion Manual for people who refuse to fade. I tell you, I love those. I'm just publishing Dr. Paula Washington's book, The Encore Journal, and the Research Journal, to go with her book, the Encore Playbook. Now, it's along similar lines, Sean. Dr. Washington's, Dr. Paula's point is that almost everything we do up to 50 is our first life. And then it's time to live our real life after 50. As you say, Sean, your real life starts now. Again, to bring all of that to our topic today, Sean, read Dr. Paula's book and see what it is what her perspective is. I've read her book several times. I'm publishing the workbook, so of course I've had to read her book several times, right? How would your
What's
book
her last name?
You meant to have met her, Michael. I know you're going to disappoint me and say you haven't met her yet. Paula Washington. You were in the room last week saying, I'm going to connect with you.
What's so hard about giving me her last name?
If you haven't connected with her, because I thought of this the other day, I thought, I'm not going to speak to you, you're going to be giving me some waffle about why he hasn't met with Dr. Paula. If you haven't met with her,
I've met her.
Why are you asking me a silly question? What's the sense?
She is a wonderful person. I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same person.
We are. We really are. That's Paula Washington, is what I call her, right? Thank you. And said, okay, I'm happy now. You haven't disappointed me, so I can take it. Look, my friends, so we can talk about this all day, right? £5 to get to, you get 2p. Joshua, and all my old and new friends, books are like a table full of dishes. Everyone reaches for what nourishes them most. Some prefer the main meal, others love the starters, but the beauty is in the freedom to choose and the courage to taste something new, I tell you. That's profound, right? There are many types of books indeed, and readers will choose different ones. You want to make sure they choose yours. It means you have to make sure that your book satisfies their need, a need. And it looks great. It's the tasty meal, as you put it. And readers will choose. If you don't think of readers in your process of ideation, for your idea, even writing a book, then I tell you, no one's obliged to choose your book, right? So before we go, my friends, I want to play a video because I love to play my video. Michael, this is for you, right?
Thank you.
Let's say 5 minutes. Here goes. So this is essentially the main answer to my question today. I don't know what I've just done. I know what I've just done. I need to get rid of the comments, but it's not giving me an easy way to do so. So, okay, right. Here's my day's video to give you the one answer you should take away with today for sure, my friend.
Authors, writers, and everyone in between. Tim Knox here. We are talking about, I'm just going to jump into it. Screw the formalities. I'm eager to get started. This is the program where we talk about anything and everything to do with writing books, be it writing, editing, marketing, getting agents, self-publishing, traditional publishing, anything and everything, with the point being to make you a better writer. I encourage you to subscribe if that interests you at all. Click that subscribe button below. And once you do that, you're going to see a little bell icon. And if you click on the bell, if you ring my bell, every time I post a new video, YouTube, out of the goodness of its heart, will let you know. So this is a number 4, I believe, in a series of videos I'm doing about writing your first book. And we talked a little bit about, your what makes you think you can write a book. Why do you want to be a writer? We talked a little bit last week about your reader, who is going to read your book. I thought this time we would talk about research. Research is incredibly important when you're a writer because you've got to know what's going on in the marketplace because you're going to go out there and compete. If you are serious about this, and we talked before, a lot of writers, well, I only write for me. I don't care if anybody reads it. Well, good, because nobody will. But if you are the kind of writer, if you're like me, if you're a capitalist and you like to eat and you like to live in a nice house and you like to drive a nice car and book sales are important to you, you've got to know what's going on in the marketplace. Even before you dive in, you've got to know what's going on. It's no business, or no different rather, than starting a business. Because really that's what you're doing. You're a writer, you're producing a product, a book that will hopefully sell in the marketplace. So before you write a single word, you've got to go out there and figure out what's similar to what I'm thinking about writing, what's selling, who are the best-selling authors, what is the audience, that sort of thing. So as you come up with the idea for your book, let's say you've got an idea, you're like everybody and their mother now, you've got a Harry Potter knockoff or a Game of Thrones knockoff idea, and you want to go out there and you've just got to write it. You're compelled. You've got the story in your head. So before you write a single word, you need to go to Amazon or go to your local bookstore and see what is in that genre. If you're writing historical romance or you're writing dystopian sci-fi, you're going to want to go look up that genre on Amazon and see what's selling. What are the top 10 paid books that are selling? What are they about? Are they similar to yours? How are they different? Does yours hopefully doesn't knock off anyone? Because the worst thing you could do is write a story inspired by someone else. So you really have to know what's going on in the marketplace, what's selling, what's not, what are readers rabid for, before you really can tell if it's a book that you need to write. If you come up with an idea and you go to Amazon and you can't find anything similar to your book idea, it's probably not a good idea. Again, this is the same advice I would give an entrepreneur thinking about starting a business. If there's no business like that now, it may be that there's no audience for it. I seriously doubt that you are so innovative that you have created an entirely new genre of book. So before you write a word, do the research. Don't skip this step. It is just vital that you know what's going on in the marketplace. And that's the only way you're going to compete. You cannot beat the competition until you know who the competition is, what they're selling, what their price points are, and how big the audience is. So that's the golden nugget for today. Do the research, okay? Vet your idea. Think about your book as your product. You would not invest $100,000 of your time and money into a business without hopefully looking at the marketplace and looking at the competition, because that's what every book is. It's your competition. There are only so many readers out there. There's only so much room in the Amazon store. Okay? If you don't consider every book.
That's fair. That's the truth right there, right? There's no easy way of saying it, my friends. That's the truth. Oh, the genius Mel. How are you doing, Mel? Always great to see you. Whether you come first minute, last minute, in the middle, I appreciate you. We save and become team replay. Now, please, YouTube, Mel, YouTube, please. You know how we roll. YouTube is where the numbers really count on replays, especially. Maria, welcome to. So I have so many books in my head, don't know where to start. So let's talk, Maria. Let's talk. And I say, if you got books in your head, my friend, let's get the books out of you. The books are no good in your head. No one can benefit from them. You need to get them written and published. And also, if you've written a book that you haven't published, I don't know. A friend of mine told me the other day, Dr. Rosana. My cousin wrote a book that I'm waiting to publish. I'm like, oh, let's publish it. She goes, I've had it for 10 years. I'm like, what do you mean 10 years? 10 years you haven't published a book? Imagine writing a book and then you die before it's published. Imagine someone writing a book and is there and then the one never gets to hear or see it. How can that be? That would kill me, right? Maria, let's talk. So I'll DM you. Let's have a conversation. Let's try and see how we can get these books out. Jay, how you doing, my brother? Great to see you. I ain't seen you for a long time. It feels like, it's been a month or two, I'm sure. How are you?
Doing good. Trying to stay warm.
Michael was crying about winter earlier. I don't mind winter because it means summer's nearer, right? We're nearer to the next summer, next warm weather. That's why it's cold, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
What's going on for you?
Well, I like what the guy said, right? I think, man, you, out of everybody, you always talk about monetizing, right? Your insights, your experience, and you encourage people, obviously, to publish their book. And, the gentleman you just, what is his name? Tim?
Yeah, Tom, something like
Tom.
that.
Yeah. So, he's really upfront about it. I'm a capitalist. I love money, right? So if you want to eat, is what he said. And he mimics exactly what you say all the time. Don't always do things for free. And I would say this for the people out there who are purists, it's not bad to make money, and to get your book out there. But yeah, definitely do the research so you can capitalize. I'm going to use that word, capitalize on the opportunity that's out there, so that your book doesn't stay on the shelf. Now, you can do those types of things and then do your passion projects. But your passion projects have to be paid, right? I mean, you have to pay the publisher, you have to pay the editor. You even have to pay ChatGPT if you're not,
Yeah.
you're not going to be doing a publisher or an editor, right? So either way, you're going to have to spend some money. I don't see anything wrong with it. And you can use it just the way you use ChatGPT. Money is a tool. It allows you to get from point A to point B these days, right? You can't do anything without having to pay somebody, So I just think it's one of the things that is necessary when you're trying to publish that book you want to publish. You can publish ebooks that you may not have a passion for, but will allow you to make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to be that guy. But the more I was on LinkedIn and listening to folks, and the more bills piled up, I said, well, maybe I shouldn't be that purist. Maybe it shouldn't just be a passion project. There's nothing wrong with being paid for the thing you like to do the most. So I think that's important to understand. But the really important thing is exactly what he started out with, and that was do the research. Do the research. Is there an audience for it? Right. Um, it- people. There may be there's always an audience for everything out there, but is there one that will allow your message to get out there and also get you some money, and so that you can continue to do what you're doing. And one of the first things that's in the book that you helped me publish, Annie, is know your audience. And how do you do that, right? And now there's all kinds of GPTs that are out there that'll help you get that knowledge, get you the research you need. You don't have to pay anybody, just pay the GPT, the pro version, so you get good information. I think those are the things that you have to consider when you're out there. So I like the guy, and what he had to say. He does it in a little bit of tongue in cheek, but it's a real important message that people should really listen to. So research, and don't be afraid of making money on something, because it'll help you get to where you need to go for the things you really want to do.
Yeah, I totally agree, my friend. I totally agree. A good way to summarize and to begin to close our show today. I'll come to you, Michael. I'll come to you, Dr. Roxana, for your final thoughts on our day, for our day. Not your final thoughts ever, right? Sean, money is not a bad thing. Money is energy, and nothing inherently wrong with receiving money, energy, for the value energy you bring to the world. So, the words there that I wish I could highlight it. I can't do it on here because you can't. If I do that, nothing happens, right? Jay, look, your book is only going to sell. You're only going to make money if your book gives value to people. That's not a trick. They said trick words that means something, right? If your book doesn't help anyone, not going to make any money. No one's going to read it. Yeah, so it will say a passion project, for like I'm saying, but if your book helps people, it will make money. I'm not saying be obsessed by it. I'm saying be obsessed about giving value. Writing a book that really helps with people. Like Jay, of course, your book, your storytelling book, clearly helps. It's new in terms of what gives us how to tell stories, right? And we all need to tell stories, whether you're writing, whether you're talking, whether they're doing videos, whether you're doing events. I'm saying that's something that really helps people, right? Well, even yours, whether you're going to a wedding, funeral, bar mitzvah, wherever, right? Wherever we have to speak. I'm saying if your book does that, then people will buy it. If your book doesn't help people, no one's going to buy it. Then worry less about about making money. If you don't want to make money, then write a book that doesn't help anyone. Write a book that is literally a lot of garbage words, and then you can sit on the shelf and gather dust, right? But if we truly want to help people, the money will come automatically. I see what you say, Maria. Funds are always holding me back. Then it takes me straight to what Gabriel said. Gabriel, genius, my friend. He says, when you want something, all the universe conspires to help you to achieve it. It's a possibility of having the dream come true that makes life interesting, indeed. The point that Gabriel is making, which is what we all know, which is if you really want to get that book out there, if you commit to it, do the research, as Jay's saying, find out what readers want. One, the money will come to you. Two, more money will come to you when you write the book. That's the way the world works. If you sit there thinking, I can't publish the book because I have no money, I can't write it because I have no money, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen, I promise you. If you say, I'm going to get this book out, come hell or high water, whatever it takes, then things will come to you, opportunities will come to you, collaborations, people, jobs. I'm saying it's how the world works, right? Now, again, look, Jay, I know we're not being flippant. If you want to make money, help people, do some work. That's what life calls on us to do, right? Serve people in a way. Well, I don't care how the way is, right? You can't just sit there and say I want money and then nothing happen and do nothing. Then nothing's going to happen. You have to be willing to get out there, lose some sleep, break sweat. Sometimes you have to actually even bleed, really to make that money. But the money, if you're willing to put it all in, if you have the will to get that book done, you'll get it done. The money will come somehow, sometime. Now, don't sit on Go on, Jay.
Do you remember my story about putting together the book?
Yeah. I tell you, most people they wouldn't have a clue, Jay.
So even the book that I gave Annie wasn't the original book that I wrote. I lost the original book that I wrote. I decided I was going to try to delete some emails and some things in the background. And all of a sudden, the book went missing. I deleted it somehow. 300 plus pages
Mm-hmm.
gone.
424, if I remember rightly, the first version. So you shrunk it down.
But what I said was, this is going to teach me something. One, to back up my files everywhere. Wherever you need to back it up there. Put it there. Secondly, don't give up. You come this far, keep going. And thirdly, because I had to write it again, it became much more efficient the second time around. I was like, oh yeah, I don't need to do this. I don't need to write this. I need to take that out. And so by the time I got done with it, it was a much more polished version than when I first started. So even in the midst of all of the craziness and the tears, literal literal tears over losing this thing, I was like, you know what? Push through. And sometimes that's what you need to do when you're in this process. It's I'm not going to lie to folks out there and say that it's easy. Sometimes it can be very difficult, especially for the projects that you love the most,
Yeah.
because you've invested all of yourself in it. And any deviation you feel is something that's not going to be what you want to put out there. But listen to the criticism, the constructive ones anyway, so that it'll help you get better.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the truth about life, Jay. Right? That's the truth. In case you're wondering what Jay's book looks like, if you know me, I'm always gonna flash books around. Oh, there it goes. Ritual engagement and storytelling. That's Jay's magic book, and it is a meaty book. Like I say, it gives you everything you need to tell stories in any context, business and personal. That's the genius of the book, and see, I use it when I went to go and do say talk on stage in Ghana because I'm boring. There's no way of saying it, Jay. I'm boring, right? So you find little it's a list of things, right? Add humor. I said know your audience. There's little things that make a good story in the end. That make a good things that we say, right? I'll say that for sure. Thank you so much, Jay. You never have to explain Maria. It's fine. Look, we get it. Look, Sean, to what Sean's saying, limited funds is a surface level reason. If you need life saving surgery, for example, I bet you can find the money to pay for that. Because we have to, right? We have to. So it's more about our priorities. And I said that's the truth. And your book, it's a gift to humanity. It's a God's gift to you. What you can give to the world. Get it out there. Get it out there. Dr. Roxana, please give us your last take before we go today.
Just a few seconds before you write a book, you have to make some research. That is the basic. Make the research where you want to sell the book. Maybe Amazon. I think researching on YouTube is very good. I think YouTube is coming to be the best. search engine and also find the trend. What kind of ebooks do people buy now? Sometimes you need to support your ebook with a video portion. People have low, people don't read a lot, according to Michael. That's really true. But provide, support your ebook with some videos, maybe a video summary. Post them in your YouTube or wherever, all the social media where you have. And then attach the link to your book on Amazon, wherever, wherever you have posted your book. I like Amazon. Any took me to Amazon, and I think that's the best thing I've ever. That's good. But one thing I want to say, you don't want to start writing a book without research, without finding who needs the book. And it's okay to know the niche. I want to write a book. I have written 2 or 3 books in finance niche, but it's not enough. It's not enough. So why don't you go and research finance books that sell at this moment? You want, so you know what people need, and from there you can go. And then wherever topic title you have, you take it to ChatGPT and then ask them to write a book. If you want to use ChatGPT, actually, I use Designer, whatever you use, or you want to use Canva. But before you start, you really want to know what you're writing and what people want. That's what I'm saying. Thank you so much. Thank you
So
for letting me speak.
yeah, thank you. Always a gem learning from you, my friend. And again, one of Dr. Roxana's books is this one. Let me
Yep.
try to get it on the screen. So, Financial Freedom: Unlocking 100 plus passive income strategies for 2025 and beyond. Might update it to be 2026 and beyond. We can, right? That's what, when you work with a small publisher, that's what happens. Right? Independent publisher, you can update your book as you wish. But
Yeah.
thank you so much that you shared gems with us. So do your research, my friend. Sharon Rose, welcome. So it feels late in the day, but you're never late. Like I always say, the replays are always there for you to watch. So I'll be grateful if you can watch on my YouTube so I can get the numbers. But great to see you as always, superstar. Sean says he's published 2 books for me and 2 books for his wife. That's 4 books in the Michael family. With $0 spending to get them published. Well, they spend $295 on 10 ISBNs. That's quite cheap. Okay, that's about what it costs, I suppose. And there's a genuine ISBNs, of course. So you need that's a different conversation. But you need to realize genuine ISBNs, not cheap ones that then take away ownership of your book. Look, say Jay and Dr. Roxana have talked about ebooks several times today. So that's probably my final technique to share with you today, right? If you really want to test the market, which you can, write the ebook, write your book, publish it as an ebook. Ebook doesn't need an ISBN. Essentially, it's the electronic version. And it doesn't even need brilliant formatting in that sense because you have more freedom. It's going to be read on screen. If you're going to publish a book, there's parameters, there's book sizes, there's ISBNs, there's a whole different load of hoo-ha you have to do on YouTube and all the other bookstores. Now say if that book's within you don't want to spend any money, publish as an ebook, get some feedback. Use that to write the final version. I say when I publish books, the ebook is the same version as a print book. So for most people, that's how it will tend to work. I don't want to do a mini book as an ebook and then a proper book as a print book. Literally, I will give you one formatted version that you can use as an ebook and a print book. But there's nothing wrong with testing the market, of readers with an ebook. It's lower cost and it's lower work. It's lower work in terms of the layout and so on and so forth. Of course, you have to get it. It has to be well written and edited and all that, and look good. Professional cover design, which Jay is one of the people I turn to for cover designs for my work. You can buy ISBN in bulk. You certainly can. You certainly can. That's if you're gonna publish loads of books in bulk. Anyway, Sharon Rose, indeed, test, iterate, and learn, and then improve. Right? Exactly that. Exactly that. Mr. Calm, please share your final message for us today that we can take away.
Well, um, regarding ebooks, you can probably expand your audience with respect to that. Basically, a digitized version is easily transferable from one end of the continent to the other, as opposed to what do you call it, hard copies. The other thing is when I talk of AI in this context, I imply augmented intelligence. You can augment your writing by using augmented intelligence to expedite or expeditiously get your book edited, because it will take no time at all for someone whose book is written very well. The editor can also approve it, and and quickly as well, because it's written in a manner that they can read, easily understand, read it, and know what you're talking about. Well, that's because you've gone through the due diligence of using augmented intelligence to produce your script or your work. And thus publishing becomes easier and quicker and faster. So you really use augmented intelligence to get your book done. That's what I've got to say. Thank you.
No, definitely. So that you can use the tools that are out there for that. There are many tools out there, whether it's for planning, but whether it's for review, writing, so sometimes research, and as Dr. Roshana said, AI can help you. Of course it can. It will have planning strategies. Nothing's going to beat the real people, the real humans who read your book, who can give you feedback, who can tell you how it comes across to another human. So use the tools, of course, but still you have to go through the human process, getting your book read. So thank you so much, everyone that's been here. You made my day, as always. And hopefully you enjoy your weekend. So I'm doing positivity show in an hour and a bit. So I'm going to get some food and then come back and go again, right? But thank you so
I've
much.
got a question for you, Annie. Real quick.
Oh, sorry. Go for it. What is your question?
Have you ever used augmented intelligence to do polling for market research purposes?
No,
Has
but I
anyone
can
ever done
no,
that?
I can imagine how to do it. I can know what. You mean to poll real people or to write the poll, to design the
Poll real
poll?
people. To poll real people.
No. Is it possible?
I think it is.
But how will you get real people? Isn't it just going to give you, a data about what people have said in the past?
Let's talk about it in the next show. That would be great.
Okay. All right. Okay. How to use AI to do polls for your book? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because let's say use AI to do polls for your book.
Market
All
research.
right, Mr. Man. You do. Of course, you've been my guest speaker. I'm just a co-host, and then we can go from there, and this is what we can learn from you, right?
Well, we can all learn from each other, Annie. I'm
Well,
going to learn from you, and I'm going to learn from Dr. Roxanne too.
that would be something that would something that we definitely learn, because that's new to me. Because so I would say design a poll with whatever tools you have, and then run it through people on LinkedIn, for example, on Facebook, on YouTube, as Roxanne said. Run the polls where there's people answering in real time. But there's other ways to get data that's real, that involves real people, then we'll take it, right? I'm sure we will. So, my friends, thank you so much. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sir Stanley. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, everyone, to spend your time with me. And our speakers especially, I love you all. I really do. Without you, there would be no show. My YouTube friends, of course, like, comment, engage, like, comment, subscribe, and check out the Roxana's channel as well on YouTube. Why not? So I'm going to leave us with a sponsor's message about power thinking. So do engage with the app, download the app, and do use it to learn mindfulness. I use it every day. Take care, everyone. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Bye.
It's time to change the way you think. Download the new Power Thinking Corp app, available now in your App Store.